I just think the way that P&O have behaved is a national disgrace. It's an absolute scandal that 800 people were told that they would be sacked on the same day by a video call. But P&O have got form. This is the company that reflagged away from Britain to Cyprus after the EU referendum. This is the same company that took millions in furlough only to make 1,100 people redundant, at the same time paying over £200 million in shareholder dividends. And it's the same company today that are making £1 billion in profit and saying that they need now to make these 800 hard workers redundant. These are 800 people who have bills to pay, who have families to support, who have whole communities who depend on that industry. And frankly, it's a national scandal that it's been allowed to happen on the government's watch.
Justify that for us, would you, Jim? The government is the government. They're in charge at the moment, but they're condemning this every bit as strongly as you are.
It's not good enough just to condemn it if you're in government. You're there to show leadership and to take action. We've asked the government to convene a meeting of the workers, the trade unions and the employer to try and negotiate a way through. We've asked the government to get legal advice to find out whether it was even lawful to make these people redundant in the way that we saw on TV. We've asked the government to review the furlough support that was given to see if that can be clawed back. There are steps the government can take, but frankly, just standing at the dispatch box and complaining is not government.
Well, the problem seems to be, in talking to Simon Calder, who you'll be familiar with, no doubt, as everybody is, he says it looks like a lot of these people were on contracts based in Jersey, so they're covered by maritime law and not UK law when it comes to this.
Yeah, the treatment of seafarers who are kind of UK citizens is an issue, and it's been a long-standing problem that, depending on where the ship is flagged, depending on when the company is registered, that does diminish workers' rights here in the UK. But listen, I'm not an employment expert. We need to make sure that the government take leadership. They convene a meeting to see if there is a way through it, but also to make sure that if there is a route to challenge this decision, then that route is taken with the support of our government.
Jim, what would Labour do to make sure that this kind of thing couldn't happen again in the future?
Well, fundamentally, this is about workers' rights and the ability of working people here in the UK to earn a decent living and have security, prosperity and respect. And that isn't what people feel at the moment. They feel as though they're being exploited. They feel as though there's a race to the bottom. And although this is an extreme example, it's not the only example of that taking place. So we need to make sure that we toughen up our employment laws here in the UK. That if you are a UK citizen working here and your base is here, then you deserve better terms and conditions and better rights than if your company is offshored or flagged elsewhere. It's
a PR disaster for P&O, isn't it? Even if they reversed this decision and employed everyone back, it's a huge blow to the company, which presumably is going to have longer term impact.
Well, it will do, but also, we are in a cost of living crisis made in Downing Street, and, I don't think it's a surprise that they have chosen this moment to make this intervention. They know that if containers don't come into the country and goods don't come into the country, that will have a knock-on effect on the cost of shipping. It'll have a knock-on effect on the cost of living and supply chains, and they are choosing this moment now, I believe, to really force the hand of our government. Now, the government needs to choose which side they're on. Are they on the side of P&O? They're exploiting their workers and exploiting the goodwill of the British people. Ultimately, at this point, you've got to make your choice.